Well, good morning, and we're back thinking about the slug that we meet throughout the book of Proverbs. Last week, we started our thinking about the slug and our inner slug and discovered one attribute, and that is that they put off, they procrastinate. This morning, I want us to think about two other attributes of the slug in the slug part 2. Here's the first of those, and that is this: that the slug desires things, but never attains. It starts off and it sounds good, doesn't it? They have longings, they want things, they aspire. This is Proverbs 13 verse 4. The sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the desire of the diligent are fully satisfied. There's a contrast with those who are diligent with the one that has all the desires but never starts. For all of the wanting of a better future or things to be different, their procrastination that we looked at last week sabotages them ever changing the situation. And that's sad, isn't it? Literally, this verse says, the soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. See, true enough, they have a yearning and inner hope. They want the future to be better than the present, but there is no getting going. And because of that, there's no satisfaction. They've got the full tank of gas, but the key never gets put into the ignition. And I wonder if you've met someone like that, or if you kind of know that attribute in yourself, where you've looked upon someone and you thought, man, look at all their potential, look at their great ideas, look at the things that they long for. Why don't they get about changing those things or doing those things? Or so the desire to succeed in, and you fill in the gaps. But the tragedy is that they don't invest. So they might crave a deeper relationship with Jesus, but it's just a little slumber. They want to have a better relationship with their kids, their wife, their family, their friends, but just a folding of the arms to rest. That's a getting going that is always inhibited. So the sluggard is a world of wishing. And that little image that is in the Bible there of the folding of the arms to rest actually implies that they don't desire to change and get going with no intention to act at all. The desire never clicks into the tangible. And so they keep on saying, I could be better than this. I should have more than this. I wish it was different than this. But the sluggard craves and gets nothing. Attribute number 2 is that the sluggard makes excuses. In Proverbs 26:13 we read, the sluggard says, there's a lion in the road, a fierce lion roaming the streets. And you hear that and you think, far out, well, you better stay put. I mean, if there's a lion in the streets, the excuse sounds reasonable, sounds fair enough. I mean, in the sluggard's own head at least. But in no one else's. You notice it's just them that say there's a lion in the street. Everyone else, I mean, they're out and about. They're getting things done. It's actually a ridiculous level of fear. See, what are the odds that this bloke is going to be attacked? And, well, they think the odds are great. And maybe because they're so sluggardly that they think they're going to be the one that's going to be picked off by the fierce lion roaming in the streets. This plump sluggard by the marauding lion will stand no chance. But we're meant to see that such excuses are unfounded. And we're also meant to see that that kind of fear paralyzes the slug. They look for the excuses to never get started, rather than trusting that God is the one that brings new mercies every day, a fresh start and a new beginning, a way to change and to take those desires and longings and saying to God, God, this is your world. Would you protect and care for me as I step out into it? So as we continue to think about the slug, let's stop and think for a moment. Are you someone, or do you know someone who needs to heed the warning of the proverb that tells you that you can crave and get nothing because you lack diligence? Or that for all of the excuses that you're making, today's the day to get up and get moving, to be diligent, to be about the things that God has called you to be. And with that thought, let's move into this day. God bless.